Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180. 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 598 of the Daily 180, and we're still talking about some of the ideas from Mike Maples Jr. And in this one, it's toward the end of his interview that he was doing, whether it was an interview or an article. It's toward the end, and he talks about the idea of when he identifies that something didn't go right, he tries to use the 5 whys. And that process is a series of questions. Why didn't we get this done? And the answer then says, well, because of this. Why didn't we do it this way? Well, because of this. Why didn't we do that? Because of this. And he goes on and he says at the end, he said, the point of this activity is on honoring the discovery of truth rather than determining who is to blame. And that led me to think an awful lot about this idea of blame and how it's handled, how we use it, and how we confuse the idea of blame with the concept of accountability. For me, going through the process, for instance, if I identify that something didn't go right, just last night, I've been working on a project, something didn't go right, and I made a mistake, I made an error. And as I made that error, we talked about it. I got some feedback that said, hey, we need to get this fixed. I said, I got it. I said, at least I got this part. He said, yeah, but you missed that piece. And I smiled, and we, all of us that were involved in the process said, yep, I got it. Not a problem. I sat down and I said, why did I miss that? Well, I missed that because there were things that threw me off. Why did things throw me off? Well, because it wasn't solidified enough in my head. Why wasn't it solidified enough in my head? Probably because I haven't spent enough time really drilling it. Why haven't I spent enough time really drilling it? Because I've been working on some other pieces that have been really distracting and pulling my attention. Why have I been working on those other pieces rather than working on this? Because there have been some urgencies that I needed to take care of. This 5 whys process helped me discover the truth in that moment. And literally, I did it that fast. I mean, I didn't spend hours agonizing over it. In this particular case, it was very clear. It was very easy to get through. And it allowed me to be in a situation to say, not that I'm a horrible person, but that I recognize that I've had priorities over here. I need to shift those priorities to get this taken care of. This now becomes the urgency. It's a really simple process. When we do this with ourselves, it can be really easy. When we do this with other people, we have to keep it focused on discovering the truth rather than fixing blame. Fixing blame never does anything. All it does is leave people feeling like they're not pulling their fair weight. They're letting people down. And generally, when people get into that kind of a negative space, they can't lift anybody up, themselves or anyone else. They lose their ability to make a difference. So using these 5 whys to discover truth and shift priorities becomes a powerful tool that we can use when we're faced with things that don't go right. Hopefully this has been something that's going to be useful for you. I know it is terribly useful for me. It has been, continues to be, and it's going to be something that's going to be part of my life going forward, hopefully for the rest of my life. Share this video with as many people as you can so that they can get the benefit of this kind of insight as well. Hit the button to subscribe and the bell to be reminded. And as I always say, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.